So reentry is happening, and it's going to happen over the next few months. If you're like a lot of companies like us, last year we were going along just fine, actually about to have one of our best years ever, and all of a sudden we had to change how we worked and how we did business, and changed not only for how the company worked, but people's lives changed, and for a long time, over a year now, people have had to act and behave differently both in public and at work, and lots of things, everything from Zoom and all the other things that have happened over the last year are just a part of people's lives. But now that we're going back, I see this huge opportunity to rethink how your business works. And I think a lot of how some businesses work, I know mine did, were based on just sort of conventional wisdom and things that you did. Like you had to go into the office and it was 9 to 5 and it was 5 days a week. And maybe that's right for you, maybe it's not. But I think this is an opportunity to step back and say, maybe that's not how we should do things. I know for me, a lot of times as I'm driving in the office in the morning, I'm thinking to myself, why am I driving in now when everyone else is driving in? If only we started work at 8 or 10 or 7 or something, there'd be an opportunity to cut maybe half my commute time down. And so now you've got that opportunity, because I think all of the conventions are out the window, or at least you have the license to look at them again with fresh eyes. And so for us, a lot of things we're going to look at are those things that I think were conventional wisdom. And if they were right, we'll do them. And if they weren't, at least we have an opportunity to look at them again. And I think the where we are and how we work is going to change a lot. So maybe we'll convert to permanent partial from home. And I think one of the silver lining opportunities is right before the pandemic, we were actually just about to sign a lease to in a new lease to build out some space that was about 50% bigger. And we're kind of glad we didn't commit to that. And now I look at it and say, well, if we're only going to be in the office maybe a day or two less or something, then all of a sudden we don't need all that space for all the people, because we can maybe shuffle in and now we've got more capacity than we thought from before. So we're going to take a hard look at all of those things. And I think one of the things to take a look at is for us is where we hired from. So we used to hire almost exclusively in Chicago and around our city. But now we feel like the job market is the whole country, and because we might not have an expectation to have these people in person. I think for some we'll keep, we'd prefer to have them local, maybe leadership and some others, but maybe that's another conventional wisdom that we need to take a look at. And I think all those things can apply to how anyone's business run. To take a look at what you really need to do and what was important and what was not important. And I think one of the things to remember about Zoom culture is I think there's an opportunity there where I think there's such a thing as Zoom fatigue that we're all aware of, and maybe Zoom isn't the right answer. It was the solution, or a kind of solution. Obviously not just Zoom, Teams and Hangouts and all the other things that are out there. But I know recently I've had a number of people convert to phone calls for me. They say, hey, how about, do you have a little Zoom fatigue? Why don't we just meet on the phone? So I think there'll be opportunities to change what you're doing there. But one thing to keep in mind is, as you have remote employees, make sure that they're not treated differently or less, or that a meeting that's in person isn't treated as the real meeting versus something else. It's going to be tricky. We're all going to have to navigate that together, but I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And so the other thing I would take a look at is keep in mind that your customers' lives are different too now. And so as we re-enter, your customers are the same stuff we just talked about, are commuting again. They are going to use your SaaS product differently. I wrote recently about how financial products had an opportunity to engage people more and differently, because their customers kind of might be sneaking a peek all day long, and that there might be opportunities there. So we're going to go back to maybe some pre and post work surges and all that kind of thing. So I think the message here is that reentry is going to be something you want to take a look at, both for the business, how you operate, what can you do differently, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and also for your customers, what's different from them and how can you serve them better now that their lives are changing too.